Hello and welcome, and hopefully welcome back to the CBD Pharmacist YouTube channel. This is the place for CBD information, expertise, navigating difficult topics and issues. Right now we're in the middle of about a 12-part series, which is just a shorter version of my online course, where we're going to go over all kinds of different topics and some difficult ones like today. So we're talking about drug interactions. And I really feel like this is a sweet spot for pharmacists. I think being in CBD is really a place that my profession is uniquely qualified to work. We have such a varied background with drug interactions, how medications work in the body, dosing, side effects, how to avoid those. I do it every day. Not the other physicians or other PAs. Like a lot of people have this information, but this is kind of the air I breathe, and most pharmacists breathe. So so I'm proud to represent my profession, and I just want you to realize that you're getting something unique here. And I would just implore you, before you make a decision about CBD, for better or for worse, that you listen to what I have to say, ask me questions, send me emails. Like, I'm here to be a resource for you. Yeah, I sell CBD. I'm happy to help you find a local place that to buy local. But most importantly, I want to make sure that you can get the best out of this cannabinoid, out of the hemp plant. And that takes some time. There's some nuancing. Everyone responds differently. So we learned about what is CBD and what is the ECS the last two videos. So I hope you took a look at those. Everyone's ECS is different. Just as when we talk about drug interactions, I have a couple visual aids today that everyone responds a little differently. There's not a given, like, we know what drugs do in the body, but everyone responds differently to what they do and how they interact. So it's more a dotted line, never like a straight line between A plus B equals C. But we can make some assumptions, and so we're going to work on that today. So, if you like what you're hearing, if you like this course, subscribe, a thumbs up, thumbs down, send me an email so we can continue the conversation. I love helping people, and that's why I'm doing this. So today we are going over drug interactions, and we are going to talk about what is the role of the FDA with CBD and why is it important for this topic. So as of this recording, and for a while, I believe, the FDA is not regulating CBD. They're regulating what you can say about it, what you can advertise about it, for those places that choose to enforce it. You can't say CBD is going to cure this, do that. I'm doing an educational kind of series here, so I'm a little more leeway, I feel like. But I'm not going to advertise or post or do anything on social media that talks about CBD is going to cure cancer or reduce your pain or help your anxiety. It might do some of those things, but we can't do that. But that's the only thing that they're really doing right now. So we need regulation on how it's grown, how it's processed, how it gets its final form, dosing, minimum, maximum, all these things right now it's buyer beware out there. So drug interactions is even deeper in there. So until we get more trials, it's really going to be kind of hit or miss. And Epidiolex is helpful because Epidiolex is CBD in the isolate form. Now you remember from the previous videos that most forms of CBD that people use are broad spectrum or full spectrum, which is all parts of the hemp plant. Isolate is just the CBD by itself. So Epidiolex did all these trials on CBD, found all these drug interactions, all these problems, these side effects. These are all things that I can use because these were very much clinical, clinically accurate professional trials with CBD, figuring out all these things that it does and doesn't do. And so I gleaned a lot of my information on drug interactions off of that. And I already know what it does in the body, but this helps give a little more backing to what I want to say. So good stuff with this trial. The more you dig into Epidiolex, I think it helps us understand CBD because you've got all this money research behind this product. So they studied positive effects observed, which means there's things that happen in trials that it's not in the scope of what they want to do. So they found positive things like, oh wow, this actually reduces swelling, inflammation, helps with pain, helps with anxiety. Like, they found all these things, but we're not here to study that, so we're just going to put it over here, but we still have to report it. So they report the positive side effects, which is really cool, and they report some of the negative, all right, which we can talk about too. But some good things that they're saying about CBD in here. That's no mystery to those of us that are in the industry. It does more than just help with seizures. The endocannabinoid system is way too complex to be pigeonholed in one little category. With Epidiolex, the one thing that we have to hold back is that they dose it really high, because isolate you can go much higher, 20-30 times more than what we normally do in a full or broad spectrum form. And so when they dose it, they have more side effects. So you see the worst side of it, because CBD, we'll get into this later, is biphasic, which means it's very efficient and useful at low to medium doses, and with the high doses it has a different effect. THC does the same thing. It can relax you at low doses. At higher doses, it can cause anxiety. It can cause paranoia, hallucinations. So it's unique, and I don't want to get too much into that now. But just understanding a really high dose of what they observed with Epidiolex, yes, we saw some negative immune system reactions. We saw more drug interactions for sure, elevated liver enzymes. We saw nauseousness. All these things that are possible, but very unlikely at the normal doses. And it's pretty cool. I mean, you're talking 20, 30 times more of an average, what I consider an average dose for CBD. It's still safe, it's still effective, it's in a prescription form. So that should give us some confidence, I think, when we're dealing with this. When we talk about drug interactions, we're going to talk about how the liver metabolizes, and I'm just going to go through this quickly because this video is not meant to be complete. Go to my course if you want a more complete picture. But the CBD is metabolized by the Cytochrome P450 enzyme pathway, which is the most common pathway in the liver for deactivating our medication. So the liver's job is to take these medications and change them so your body can excrete them, so they're not as potent, so they're not as active. That's a big deal with CBD. A lot of it gets inactivated. And something like when you take it orally, like 70-80% gets metabolized the first time around. They call it first pass metabolism. First time it goes to the liver, it lops out like 80% of the potency of it. But don't worry about that. Like that's already there. You don't have to do anything about that. But medications can affect that, or CBD can affect medications, which is what we're concerned about. So let's imagine that this apple represents CBD, and I'm Cytochrome P450. There's all kinds of sub-enzymes within Cytochrome P450 that you'll see in some of the charts I show you. But just for our sake, Cytochrome P450, my job is to deactivate this apple, so I'm going to chew on the skin. Alright, that's how I'm deactivating, right? So as soon as all the skin's gone, apple's no longer active, my body excretes it, it's done its job. The liver's happy, and we're okay. Medication comes down the pipeline, or when CBD comes down the pipeline, the liver goes into action. Now say we have this orange, which is a prescription medication. Let's say it's metoprolol, for example. I'm just choosing that one randomly. Now all of a sudden I'm competing interest. Do I want to chew on the apple or chew on the orange? Kind of gross, but imagine I got to chew through the rind here, like the cover. Chew past the covering as an apple to deactivate it. All right, so the skin on this thing is something I want to chew on, but for our example, it is. So which one do I want to chew on? And that's the important